Okay, I'm gonna spray my face. I am using the Stay Outside setting spray, the Stay setting spray, and this comes out really fast, so I'm just gonna spray it all over my face, and it's gonna be real wet, and that's okay, and I'm gonna let it dry. This is kind of like my primer. Yeah, that's enough. I had to think about it. So then I just let this, and you can see like I'm really shiny because I just sprayed this. And so sometimes in some of my videos, you'll notice that when I start, I look super shiny. And yes, I have oily skin, but it's not always because of that. It's mostly because I use a primer. Another primer that I really like, if you are not interested in the Stay Spray, you can get it at Target. It's Soap & Glory's One Heck of a Blot. I actually think I used this yesterday, and so I like this one too. And it's, like I said, from Target, so really affordable. But then I'm just going to let this dry, and let me show you my compact while I let it dry. So I have a double-decker compact. That's upside down. Not that you can really tell. But I have a double-decker compact. This size comes free when you order 16. And then the next size down, and I'll show you in comparison, it's just a little bit shorter, and then this is a different pattern. This one is free when you buy 10. And the cool thing about these two is they're double deckers. So you can see they have different layers. So you can separate your creams and your powders, which is not necessary, but is helpful because you don't really want your powder to get into your cream. And the other thing that I really love about these ones is that you don't buy so much that they're full. Like when you buy 10 and get this free, you still have room to grow. When you buy 16 and get this free, you still have room to grow. When you buy our quads and our hack stacks, which is this size, so let me show you in comparison. It's a little shorter and a little less wide. Let me try to hold that up for you. So it's smaller, and when you buy this one, it's full. So this one is the quad, and it has some stuff in it right now. But this one's the quad, and so you can see it can fit 8 eyeshadows, or it can fit 4 solid tins. And when you buy 4 full-size tins, it's completely full, and there's no room to grow. Same thing goes for the hack stack, which I have a beautiful hack stack right here. So let me pull it out. This is the hack stack, and this is one of our new designs. So when you get your free compact, you get to pick which design it is. This one is particularly Ice Fall, and this is 2 levels, which is cool, but it only fits 8. Here, let me show that. I don't want you to be blinded. So this is, would be full. When you buy 8, it would be completely filled up pretty much. Unless you bought mostly eyeshadows, then it wouldn't be full. But that's enough about compacts. So mine is the double decker, and I'm going to get started. So I'm going to be using the Detail Hack. It's my absolute favorite brush. We also have the 30-second hack, which I highly recommend only because it's our best seller. So it's definitely our most loved brush. This is the 30-second hack. It is not my personal love, but a lot of people do really like the really easy way of getting on your highlight, because this is much bigger than this one. So it's a lot faster, hence 30-second. So I'm going to take the color Amber. I use Amber right now as a color correct shade, so I put this underneath my eyes. It's too dark for my actual skin tone, so you'll notice it just went on very yellow. So it's very, very different than the rest of my skin. But I just kind of go in and balance out. I have a nasty little bugger right here. Hi, Sweet Pea. My fiance was doing a PD via webinar.
Still doing it.
It sounds, oh, you're still doing it? Oh. Yeah, so you can see that just goes in, and my screen's a little blurry, so I'm going to wipe this off a little bit. But that just balanced out the darkness, but it's not actually my shade. So it's definitely too dark right now for me. But I didn't put a ton on. You'll notice I held from the back of the brush and just kind of stippled in that area. I do sometimes swipe because technically there's nothing on my face right now other than this color in terms of shades. So it's okay if you kind of swipe at it because it's not moving any of the other product because you don't have any other product on. But now that this is here, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to get that spot too because it's just a little darker than everything else. And again, it looks a little too yellow, but it's going to all work out. I think that's good. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. still have some on here though, and I don't want to waste it. So then that was Amber. If you're not interested in color correcting, you can totally use just your darker highlight. So the people that I've color matched in here thus far, I've recommended 2 highlight colors. Whichever one is your base highlight color, that's the one that goes in and balances out the darkness and the red. Most of us have dark noses, mine included, so that definitely goes on your nose and then any other areas that you want to lighten and brighten. But you go in first with the darker color. So then now I'm going to use my lighter color, which is our new shade called Linen, and it's beautiful. And I'm only going to put this, I put this on the larger end, and I'm only going to put this under my eyes, and I'm going to dab because I don't want to wipe off all of that product that I just put there to color correct. And this should be a lighter shade than the rest of your face. So underneath your eyes, you just want to really bring it in and brighten. And like you can see the difference, right? Yes, it doesn't look blended yet, right? Like I still need to go in and fix some of this. But like what a crazy difference in terms of tone. There's not like a yellowiness anymore. It's completely bright, white, light, lovely. You look like you're actually awake. Which right now as a teacher who's one more day away from break, that is really important to me. Now I am not using all that much product at all. Like dipping once or twice into my tins because these are very pigmented. They should last you a really long time. So highlights typically last, I would say anywhere from 2 to 3 months. And then contours can last you 6, and then illuminators and blushes last you a year. So definitely highly pigmented, lots and lots of product. You don't go through it very quickly. So that's my lighter, that's Linen. I am gonna go back in with Linen and brighten in other areas in just a little while, but I wanna get the rest of my base done before I do that. So I'm gonna use June. June is my base color, and I'm gonna go in pretty much everywhere else that I wanna highlight that I didn't put Linen. So I just went around my mouth and on my chin. And notice I'm still stippling. I'm not swiping. I'm gonna go down the side of my jaw. We want the jaw to be, hey Heather, thanks for popping on. Feel free to leave any questions below. It'll get you 2 entries into the giveaway tomorrow. So this is our last one. So what was I saying? So this goes on your jaw just because we don't want our jaws to be a different color than our necks. And so the base color that I recommend for you is usually the closest to your neck, and then you just kind of pair that up. Right? You want that to look normal. Some people go in with their lighter color though. If they have if they have a tan, usually the tan sits here, and so you might want to go in with your lighter color in the summer. The summer season is ending, so that might not be applicable anymore. I know for me, I've already been back to work for 6 weeks, 7 weeks now, and as a teacher, that's yeah, but anyway. So then I put Linen here, June here. I'm going to put June on my nose because my nose is dark, so I want to go on with my darker color and kind of balance that out. And I'm going to balance out my V. I have a birthmark, a V birthmark here. And I don't love that to show through. Sometimes I build up my coverage a little more. I'm going to go on top of my eyelids as a primer for my eyeshadow that I'm going to do. And actually you could just wear this like this. You don't need to do an eyeshadow on top of it. You could just balance out your whole face. So you can't super tell because this color is so perfect for my skin, but technically I didn't put it everywhere. So you should still be able to see like there's no product here, and there's no product here, and there's no product here. So it doesn't go everywhere. It only goes in the areas that are supposed to be lighter. And then from here, I'm just kind of wiping this off. I should do it on a paper towel. I was doing it on my hand because I'm going to use this same side. There's really not that much extra product on. It's just a little tinted. But I'm going to use this same side for contour, which is super cool because it's double-ended and I can do everything with it. And I'm going to use Astoria, which is our new contour color. Nicole, if you pop on later, I was thinking about it after I sent you your colors. Astoria would work for you too for your contour. I know I recommended Olive, but olive is a little warmer, and that would really pair well with your skin, but I also think that Astoria, it's a little ashier than olive. So if you're interested in a little more of a dramatic contour, I was just thinking about it later. So I got a little contour on here. Contour is usually a thicker consistency, so you might have to dab a couple more times than you do your highlight, and maybe kind of squish it in there, but you still don't get a ton of product. So you can see that like there's only a little bit on there. And then I'm gonna hug this cheekbone. So this cheekbone starts right above my ear. You can push in and feel it, and then it comes down into the squishy part. And I'm gonna come up underneath at an angle so you can kind of see, and I'm gonna press the contour into that shadow and kind of come down until where it's squishy. Okay, now this isn't blended yet. All I've done is place the product. What I would do next, just kind of blend it out. Not too much though, because I don't really want it to go away. I still want the shadow, and you can see when I'm looking at you straight on, it just looks like a shadow. If you want it a little darker in the back, because that's where the shadow is supposed to be, you can always go back in and put a little bit more in there. Don't worry so much about your contour, or at least this is what I've found. This is for me. I don't worry so much about my contour right from the beginning. I just kind of get the product there, because then when I go in with blush, it just kind of all melts into beautifulness. True story. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just kind of bring this down till you really don't want to cross like where your eye is. So right here. So I'm actually even a little too shallow. Not too shallow. I just like it a little less. I like to build up the blush more. That's just my style. A student asked me the other day, "Miss, are you mad or are you wearing blush?" And I was like, "Well, do I look good?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Then it's blush." Because I was mad at the time. It's just a rough time for me right now, guys. So this is now your shadow. And this is, I think, when people think of the word contour, this is what they think of. And I think it scares a ton of people, because like right now it's very drastic because I don't have anything else on my face. The whole look pulls together with blush. And I've heard so many people say, "I don't use blush anymore. I haven't used blush in years." We're not like Audrey Hepburning up here. We're not gonna like power pack our cheeks with blush and look like clowns. I'm gonna show you how to place it so that it looks super natural and it all just kind of blends and you don't even really notice the contour anymore. I mean, you notice it because it's perfect, but it's not like it's all you see. Now I'm gonna take the contour and I'm gonna pull down from the hairline up here to create a shadow. All of our foreheads are curved, so you want the shadow to be at the back. You could even build it up a little more here in these corners of your hairline. Okay, and then I'm gonna go under my chin. Make sure you're on the bone. Don't go in this like indented part, and don't come at it this way. Oh, I just did. So you're just sharpening out this jawline, and then I would pull down, kind of like we did with our hair. Those of us that suffer from double chins, contour your chin. Just do it. And I like to go all the way back up into here, because this should be a shadow too. And if you pull it down, it just looks really natural. It just looks like your face. You're just chiseling out your face. So no one's like, "Ooh, look at that line on her chin." No. Okay, let's talk. I'm going to switch brushes for a moment. Let's talk nose contour, and I'm actually going to contour my lips as well. So I'm going to use Astoria again because I want to make this super simple. There are other shades of contour that you could potentially pull off if you wanted to have a little bit more of a dramatic nose. Like you could use one contour here and then one here. Specifically shadow. Shadow is designed for nose contour, so if you want to get really intense, that's an option. But I'm going to take my multitasker and I'm going to take the fat yet skinny end, and I'm going to get a little product on one side of the brush. And you kind of have to have a steady hand for this, but if you look, let's get close. If you look, you can see where my nose starts to round right here, and it's actually thinner up there than it is down here. But I'm going to want to start from up here, and I'm going to take this right where it curves without going too like sideways. So you can see that that just looks like a shadow now, but this side looks fatter, I guess, wider, because this side doesn't have it. So I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I actually do this better with my left hand, which I think is weird for some people. So I'm going to take, sorry, didn't want to talk through that. Left is harder for me because I'm not left-handed. But when I try to do it with my right hand, I like go crooked. Okay. And then I'm going to take just the remainder of this product, and I'm going to kind of fan it up into, I don't know what this part of our faces are called, but just like the area between your nose and your brow bone. Some of us have a lesser distance than I do. I have quite a wide one for some reason. And then that would be my contouring of my nose. I'm not going to leave it like this. I'm going to go in and highlight with linen again. But I'm also going to get a little bit more product, and I'm going to go right in the middle of my Cupid's bow. I actually did this the last couple days because This Is It. I was trying to distract from it. So I put this contour on it so that it doesn't seem as prominent. Cool. So then that just looks like a shadow there. I'm going to line my lips with this. Now, if you line your lips with contour, or if you contour your lips, you want to go under your lower lip, and you want to go just on the edge of your upper lip. Because if you think about it, if a light was right here, which for me it is, the shadow is underneath. Like the top of my lip should be shinier or brighter, and then underneath this pout is where the shadow is. Talking and contouring your lips at the same time. Cool. And then underneath down here. Awesome. Now I'm going to take the other end of the multitasker, and I'm going to go into linen, which is that lighter one I talked about. I'm going to line right here. I'm going to line the top of the lip because I want it to be brighter. And you could totally skip this step if you don't love this. Doesn't have to be your thing. And then I'm going to take my finger with linen, and I'm going to go up the center of my nose. So I'm brightening and bringing forward my nose and making it look less wide. Okay? Now I know it looks a little scary, but you're going to take your lovely Perfector sponge, and you want to get this damp, you want to get it soaking wet, and then wring it out, wring it out, wring it out until right now it's damp, but I can wring it and there's nothing coming out. And then this is the perfect blender magic. You could also use this to blend out here if you were not really happy with your contour or you wanted to lessen it a bit. But again, you don't want this to be too wet or too dry because it's going to pull off your makeup. And so now, when I look at you, you can see the contour. That looked a little too shiny. Just getting a couple. There we go. Okay. So you can see the contour, but it just looks like the natural shadows of my face. Pretty cool, huh? And then this would be my highlight and contour. Now let's go in with blush. I feel like we should use the new one. Well, there's two new ones, but I'm going to use Plum. No, I'm going to use Plum. So these are all my personal blushes. I can't choose. Nicole and I share that sentiment. She commented on one of our posts this week about that. I just can't pick. I love them all. And I'm going to take our B squared brush. So this is our B squared. And I'm going to take the smaller end. I'll wipe it off just a little bit because it has some left over from this morning when I did my makeup at work. So I'm going to take the smaller end, and I'm only going to dab a couple times because these are pretty pigmented, so I don't need a ton. And okay, here's the key to blush. So you want to put it on the apples of your cheeks. So when you smile, these are the apples of your cheeks. But you don't want to be like clowning, right? You want to like marry it to your contour. So you don't want there to be any space between your blush and your contour. You don't want like streaks across. But instead of starting from the back like we did for the shadow, you're going to start from the apple, like right here on the side, and you're going to place the product there, And then kind of, I'm going to do it again over here because I don't want a ton of product. And yeah, then hopefully there's nothing really left. Okay, and now you're going to take this and you're going to blend it back. Again, you're marrying it to that contour. And you're just kind of giving it that color. And you'll notice I'm using that dabbing motion that we talked about. So yes, this looks scary, but that's what it turns into. And now when I smile, my cute little cheeks are just nice and adorable. And I used Plum just now. I don't really love pink blushes. It's not my game. I don't play that game very well. So in my palette, I have 2 pink colors, one of which is incredibly bold because I like bold colors. But the only pink color I have is pink grapefruit because that's not my style. So I used Plum because I kind of like how, I don't want to say natural, but it's just a little more fallish to me too. Oh, here's another trick. When you smile, you don't want to come into your marionette lines with your blush. You don't want your blush to get into that area. You want to stay outside that barrier. And then that's your blush. Let's also use Plum for my lips. So I line my lips in Astoria. And now I'm going to take Plum that I just put on my cheeks. And I'm also going to put it on my lips. How pretty is that? Oh my gosh. I really love the like purple lipstick movement. It's a cool one for me. So you can see that's the Plum. And the lining of the lip just makes it way more like prominent. And then I'm actually going to take Black Cherry. I did this today. And I'm going to put Black Cherry, which looks really intense. But it's a really nice glossy finish. I'm going to put that on top. There we go. I kind of want more. Okay. So I wouldn't say natural looking lip. I don't think people have purple lips all the time. But it's like a statement without being obnoxious. And I wore this color on my lips, or on my cheeks too. I wore Plum on my cheeks too. So it just kind of pulls the whole look together. That would be pretty much all I would do. Oh, I would do my eyebrows too, but that would be like with my eyeshadow. So before I move on to that, let's just review. I color corrected under my eyes so that you can't really see my bags anymore. You can see them a little when I look down, but you can't really see them up close. Sorry, I keep burping. And then I went with Linen here, June all around these areas, then Astoria here, here, and here, as well as here and here, and I lined my lips with it, and then I took Plum and I put it on my cheeks and on my lips, and then I covered it with Black Cherry as well. So, and I think that this is a really nice put together, yet like I don't look like I'm going to a quinceañera either kind of look. So this is one of my favorite things that like if I only have a few minutes, I will just stop here and this is all I'll do. But let's keep going because we have an exciting eyeshadow stuff to talk about. So I have I'm actually going to clean it because it's got some extra stuff on it. I'm going to use the Know Your Angles brush, which is our newest brush to the collection. Sorry, I'm not trying to move the camera. Apologies. And so I just clean this off. And the cool thing about our cleaner is that you can use it right after you clean it, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to use the color Oak with the Know Your Angles. And I'm going to start... There's a hair. Get the hair. Oh, got it. Great. Okay. And I'm going to start down here in the corner of the brow. And I'm going to go up to where the arch should be. Now, the arch should be like if you were to take your pencil or your brush and you go from your outer part of your nose to your pupil, that's where your arch should be. So I'm going to start right here. Yep. And I just went through the brow and I pulled up the arch a little bit. And then I got a little more product on and I'm going to pull this down just a bit. So then this is supposed to be where your eyebrow ends, from the outer part of your nose, outer part of your eye. And then I do put a little more on and I go back to the front and I just kind of brush using hair-like brush strokes to kind of build it up just a bit more. And this is actually the perfect color for my eyebrow. You can see The color doesn't look that much different from this side to this side, but it's just a little more put together. Sometimes if I'm going for a real dramatic look, I will do Trust. I like Trust. If you are super fair, I recommend Oak or Basic. So I'm using Oak right now, and then Basic is another one. If you're darker, I would use Trust. And if you're super dark, I would use, or if you just really like intense brows, I would use Kohl. Kohl's a good one. And a couple of you bought Kohl already, so you will have it in your cute palettes. And then there we go. Those are my brows. And this brush makes it so simple. I also am going to use this brush for liner, which is also in my palette. So I'm also going to do an eyeshadow look, not one that I did today, but one I did recently that I really liked, and my fiance even said something about it at the end of the day. He was like, I really like your eye makeup today. So I'm going to take my eyeshadow everything brush. One of you lovely ladies is going to win one of these tomorrow. And I'm going to go with the smudgy side, and I'm going to use Emerald City, which is not currently available, so I apologize, but it will be back soon. It's a shimmery green. And I'm going to line sorry, couldn't talk through that. My lower lash line with this green. Perfect. So I actually kind of want this a little more intense, but if this is like a new thing for you and you don't love really intense eyes, you don't have to go more intense. I just love the way the green pops. So even before I have anything on my upper lid, I just kind of love what that adds to the look. And then I'm going to take the fluffy end, and I'm going to use a color that is in stock and is one of my faves, and it's $8 right now. It's called Fin. It's a little more metallic-y, and it's a cooler shimmery color. And I'm actually going to start in the outer part, and I'm just going to cover the entire lid with this color. I'm going all the way into the crease, down to the lash line, all the way from the inner corner to the outer corner, and kind of blending as I go. And this fluffy end makes it really simple. And then, trick for eyes, look at yourself with your eyes open. So I'm going to put the brush there, and then I'm going to open my eyes so that I can make sure I can see the color when my eyes are open. A little tip or trick. And then this is all I'm going to do for my eyeshadow look today. 2 colors, super simple. Anybody could do it. If you wanted a little bit of a smokier look, you could take the Emerald City up into like a wing and then blend that into the corner so that it looks just a little more smoky and maybe a little fancier. And you could also do this with any colors. Like it doesn't need to be Fin and Emerald City. It could be Cocoa and On Wednesdays. It could be Kin and, what do I love with Kin? Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes is still available right now too. And I'm just gonna make sure this is all covered. So that would be my eyeshadow look. Again, not crazy hard. Doesn't take too long of a time. Make sure I blend out. I just wiped off this product, and I'm no product on the brush, and I'm just kind of blending out this top line so it looks really natural. Cool. And then I'm gonna do the Know Your Angles again, and I'm gonna do Cola, which is almost black. This is Cola right here. And I'm gonna do some liner. The thing that I love about mascara is everything's in one palette. You'll notice I'm dabbing. You don't want to swipe a cream product over the powder that you just put. You want to tap it in and make it marry with that powder. I want a little more, just a little more dramatic. Also, eyeliner in a phone. Not the easiest thing I've ever done. Okay, and just line my whole eye there. And then I'll do this one. Again, my left is always harder. I don't know why. Everything on the left is harder. This is real life, guys. Me and my struggles. Cool. Just double checking in my mirror over here. Okay. So then that's cola. And then I'm gonna use Pearl. Pearl's one of my favorite illuminators. I'm gonna dab this on the top part of the cheek just to get that shimmer. Right there as well. I'm gonna put a little under the brow just to catch the light. I don't love my brows or my brow bones, but hey, everybody's different, right? Then I'll put a little right here just to give that little shine right there. You could put a little in the center of your lip just to give it a little shine there. And then something else I like to do is a little bit in the corner of your eye. I kind of illuminate a ton. I love Illuminator. And Pearl is definitely my current favorite. I don't know why. I love Dream, don't get me wrong. And it just launched very recently. And it's wonderful. But I like Pearl. I just do. That is not my mascara. So, only thing mascara doesn't sell is mascara. And they recently, at our conference, they talked about when we will actually have a mascara, or at least they talked about like where they are in the process. They're not sure when they're going to launch, but they are working on it. And right now their biggest concern, and this is why I really like the company, is that what they have and what they've formulated is no better than anything that's already out there. And so they just don't feel very compelled to release it because it's not what it needs to be yet. And something that they're very motivated in doing is making sure that every product they release in terms of your actual makeup and not skincare is fitting in your palette. And that's really hard to do with a mascara. I don't think they're going to achieve it, but hey, who knows? So right now I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous mascara. And I just kind of make sure I get the whole lashes. I'm starting to fall in love with fake lashes, but I don't want to. I don't want to be a fake lash person. But I think I don't know. It just seems like so much work. But anyway, there's my look. And let me know if you need anything.